come to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. There is a story that has been developing since Friday morning, and I want us to pay some attention. Sabina Chege, the former Murang'a women rep, was actually, there was a move by Azimio to strip her off the position of deputy minority leader so that she's replaced by my member of parliament, Mark Mwenje, from Embakasi West. And since after Azimio, and this was after they actually, the Jubilee faction, the split Jubilee faction, decided to side with Kenya Kwanza, rather the UDA party. And then the Azimio team argued that there is no way we could have a minority who is working with the majority side. So that is what, and that is what might have, that is what prompted the move for Jubilee to replace Sabina Chege. So what happened is, after the UDA, after the Azimio leadership presented the change to the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Speaker, in the first instance, that was in September, reverted the matter, referred to a court order that had come from Kiambu Court. And of course, that court order was fake because the paper was never served to the Azimio side in the National Assembly. And after that happened, of course, Moses Wetangula used that court order to postpone, rather to stop executing the move for Azimio to change its House leadership. So by then, that happened. And 2 weeks ago, there was a move, there was a verdict from Kiambu Court that said, ratified the decision for the Azimio Umoja decision to remove Sabina Chege as the deputy minority leader. So, and their argument was that Sabina Chege, there was no way Sabina Chege could go to court seeking court to protect her, or rather to stop the Azimio Umoja from removing her from that party, from that position, because she had not exhausted all the other alternative resolution mechanisms, which involves internal organs within the Azimio Umoja and even within the Jubilee Party, then Political Parties Tribunal. So by that, it means that Sabina Chege was, if she was to stop, or rather to oppose the decision by Azimio to remove her, the only route available was to go back to Azimio leadership, so that she undergoes through the disciplinary process within, or the alternative resolution process within the Azimio coalition. And that didn't happen. So remember, now it's like, I think that's taken more than 1 month since Jeremiah Kioni wrote to Speaker Wetangula to effect the changes after that court decision from Kiambu, and I remember us analyzing it here, and Wetangula has declined to effect the leadership changes at Azimio Umoja. So a letter was written yesterday, and that letter was written by Speaker Wetangula, was written to Wetangula, asking why the changes are yet to be made. And Jeremiah Kioni is arguing that Sabina Chege has been roaming from another court because he tried the famous Kiambu Court, and the famous Kiambu Court did not help her. So she's trying to seek another order from another friendly court in some other parts of the country so that she can continue serving there. But then, one of the questions that I still don't understand is this position of minority. It's supposed to, Kenya Kwanza, from the onset, they've been insisting that they want a strong opposition in the National Assembly. And that deputy minority position is actually a position of the opposition side. But how do Kenya Kwanza side, or even Wetangula, the seasoned lawyer, seasoned parliamentary politician, a politician that has been in parliament for long, how did they want to convince Kenyans that they would protect Sabina Chege to continue serving in that position, while at the same time they believe on political parties' strength, or rather they believe on opposition? So any other maneuvers by the state, and of course the first instant by the court to ensure very well that Sabina Chege is removed, was a clear sign of ceasefire, because what happened is William Ruto stopped attacking former President Uhuru Kenyatta. That hostility, I think, kind of ended, and you will see he actually feted former ally, a very close trainer to former First Lady Mama Margaret Kenyatta. Also, when he was in Kisumu, he also praised former President Uhuru Kenyatta. So those hostilities stopped, and that is why even the move to protect Sabina Chege seems not to be coming now from the State House, but now is domiciled in Parliament. And Sabina Chege is trying the last bit of survival using the Speaker's route. This is a matter, and this is what I want us to pay some close attention, because I want us to draw political interpretation of that. I don't know how this will still work, because Sabina Chege needs to capture, and I want to put it into a context, Sabina Chege needs to capture the kind of hostility that Kanini Kega faced in Mount Kenya. Now, when last week there was an event that was being convened by Maina Njenga, and that was in Kiambu, and I think it was in Murang'a. Kanini Kega could not address the crowd, and the crowd chased him away. The reason being was hostility against Uhuru Kenyatta. And those who are there see him as a betrayer, as a person who betrayed former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So, as he still continues to that, I don't think someone should advise Sabina Chege that as he continues to hold on this, there's some battles that you rather lose them, because losing them serves you better than even fighting to retain it. Fighting to retain that seat does not serve Sabina Chege, apart from the personal fortunes that come, privileges that come with that office. But apart from that, Sabina Chege would still actually get a different route other than continuing being seen to be still propagating hostility against Uhuru Kenyatta. Because one of the things he's doing is, you know, when the two factions split, then they were to be made as, I don't know, she was to be made the party leader, then Secretary General Kanini Kega. So they've been trying to masquerade around it, but I don't think it's no longer, it's actually still tenable. So, Wetangula's decision to decline effecting Azimio la Umoja's changes in the National Assembly is what I want us to politically interpret. But before we do that political interpretation, kindly I want to ask you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. I want to say thank you for those who are sharing our podcasts from, you know, I realize they're shared in different platforms. I don't take it for granted. I want to say thank you. Yes, and today I'm putting on an Arsenal fan because Arsenal shirt, because Arsenal is going to play Chelsea. So, yeah, we're going to enjoy some football here today. Now, back to this political. I'll be very brief on this because this is something that I had actually exhausted. I've really been so much on this, and so I just want to interpret it this way. The refusal by Wetangula should be a warning to Raila Odinga and the team. It should be a warning that the resolutions of political party fidelity that they are trying to come up with in the bipartisan talks must be strongly entrenched in the Constitution, because if the bipartisan talks team spoke about it and they deliberated on this, and of course it was not limited to Jubilee Party that now they stop the Jubilee Party coup, but this is part of what should be. If the bipartisan talks, if this would be one of the fruits of the bipartisan talks, then we would have seen these changes being effected, because fidelity to the political parties is this. The House leadership is a prerogative of each political party to decide. If UDA wants to change the House leadership, it's upon them to change. If Azimio wants to change, there is no way the Speaker of the National Assembly should actually stand as a stumbling block to parties that want to effect changes in the House leadership. So this one should be a sign that just like what Babu said, there was a meeting that Babu was telling the Azimio side that you guys, if you're not careful, you're just being taken for a ride, but there is nothing coming out of this bipartisan talks. It should be a warning shot that when they are talking about fidelity to the political parties, it should be deeply enshrined in the constitution. And even if it reaches a referendum, so be it. Number two, Jubilee plan to kick out Sabina Chege is in the offing. And that is the greatest fear that Sabina Chege is seeing. That if successfully the Jubilee party led by Jeremiah Kioni and Uhuru Kenyatta will successfully replace her as the deputy minority whip, then she will be disarmed. And it's a very clear sign that the next plan, the next stop that this team will be, the next plan they will have is to ensure that she's actually kicked out as a nominated senator, a nominated MP. Remember, if she's to be nominated, the first beneficiary is supposed to be Jeremiah Kioni, because there were only Jubilee Party had a list of 3. And Sabina Chege was number 1, then Jeremiah Kioni was number 2. So that is one thing that is also there. Lastly, UDA party, or rather Kenya Kwanza, is weak, is very strong and committed on weakening the political parties or weakening the opposition. So it's something that, especially for Kalonzo Musyoka, now that Kalonzo Musyoka wants to vie for presidency, and yes, he's going to get the support of Raila Odinga, I believe so. And someone asked me a question I'm going to ask you at the end of this podcast. So someone will help me answer that question. So there is a very simple thing, and it's a question, it's something that they need to realize is, are we going to have a strong opposition? Now, is a strong opposition a card that we will use to decampaign William Ruto? Because there is a very clear line. If Ruto is going to have a ceasefire with Raila Odinga, that is going to be the end of opposition. And it's very clear that Kenya Kwanza are committed to end the opposition. Now, let me finish with this question. Abdi called me yesterday. Abdi is a subscriber in this channel. And Abdi asked me a question. Kevin, if Baba endorses Kalonzo Musyoka in 2022, are we going to vote for Kalonzo or Baba? Or, I think this is what he said. Now, if Baba endorses Kalonzo Musyoka, now, if I vote, is my vote for Kalonzo or for Baba? I could not answer that question. Someone can tell me, Baba akisupport Kalonzo, those who are going to vote, are they going to vote for Kalonzo or they're going to vote for Baba? There should be that distinction. And I like that question because I don't want to analyze it more than that, but I just want to point out something. When Baba says Kalonzo Tosha, or it should be Kalonzo should pick it, and I remember I said Kalonzo should pick it, go with it, so that he gets his own identity. Otherwise, if people will be coming out to vote for Baba, then we'll have a different political dynamic. Tell me what you think about it, about that point, Santedi.